Hello dear student, welcome to our new session of year-long course, and we are discussing here what actually vector is. Your chapter is vector. So before starting about vector, let us discuss first what actually physical quantity is. So my dear student, physical quantities are those quantities which has to be calculated or measured. See, calculation is basically performed with the help of formula, and measurement is performed with the help of some device. So all those quantity which has either you have to calculate or you have to measure, all is considered to be in one frame, that is called physical quantity. So my dear student, we in physics only deal with physical quantity because in physics we'll use formula, we'll use devices to measure or to calculate things. So remember this thing, physical quantities are those quantities which has to be calculated or measured. Second thing is, my dear student, magnitude. Remember, I'm talking about magnitude. So all the numerical values are called magnitude. All the numerical values are called magnitude. All the numerical value, whatsoever numerical value is considered to be magnitude. So let's suppose I am writing 4 kilometer. We know that kilometer is basically unit of distance. So through kilometer we stand what we are talking, that we are talking about distance. 4, let's suppose 4 am. So through am we know that we are talking about time. So through unit we'll understand what subject we are talking, and this 4, or we can say this 4, is basically numerical value, hence it is called magnitude. So remember dear student, we have two different things. One is magnitude, second is unit. Magnitude means all the numerical value is considered to be magnitude, and with numerical value we have term called unit. Through unit you will understand what we are talking about, and through the numerical value how much we have. So the numerical value along with unit is considered to be magnitude. Coming back to physical quantity, we know that physical quantities are those quantities which has to be calculated or measured, is called physical quantity. Now my dear student, in physics, physical quantity is classified into 3 types. First is your scalar quantity, second is your vector quantity, and third is your tensor quantity. Tensor is not in our syllabus, so we cannot discuss much about tensor quantity. Even in physics as well, my dear student, there are not so many quantities which is in tensor family, but scalar quantity and vector quantity is very important. So our chapter is vector, but before starting vector, let us discuss some basic things related to scalar quantity and related to tensor quantity. So my dear student, there are lots of quantities in physics. There are lots of quantity in physics for which to define it we no need to give the direction. For example, time. Time is enough sufficient with magnitude. For defining time, we no need to describe the direction. We never say 4 p.m. or 4 a.m. in west direction or in east direction or in south direction or in north direction. We never say temperature of my body is 98 degrees Celsius in north, 98 degrees Celsius in south, or we can say 98 degrees Celsius in east or in west. So there are lots of quantities in physics which are physical quantities, but for those quantities, for defining those quantities, we don't need to give the direction. So without giving direction, it is sufficient to define the time, to define the you say speed, to define the temperature. So those quantities, or we can say those physical quantities which is depends on magnitude, and remember magnitude means numerical value. So those physical quantity which only depends on magnitude and does not depends on direction, or we can say those physical quantity which is defined only with magnitude but not direction. There is no need for using direction to define those quantities, are considered to be scalar quantities. See, those physical quantity which only depends on magnitude but not direction is called scalar quantity. Remember this thing. I'll write some example of scalar quantity. Let's suppose time, let's suppose speed, let's suppose temperature, let's suppose mass. There are lots of examples of scalar quantity. When we'll proceed with chapters, we'll discuss more about new terms of scalar quantity. So remember, my dear student, we only deal with physical quantity, that is those quantity which has to be calculated or measured, and we'll describe physical quantity in three types. First is your vector quantity, second is your scalar quantity, and third is your tensor quantity. We are talking about scalar quantity. So I'll write those physical quantity which is used those physical quantity which only depends on magnitude but not direction is called scalar quantity. For example, speed, for example, temperature, for example, mass, etc. And one more thing, my dear student, let's suppose I'm saying that the speed of vehicle is, let's say, 3 meter per second. I'm talking about speed, my dear student. See, meter per second is SI unit of speed as well as velocity. Speed is scalar quantity but velocity is vector quantity. I'm talking about speed. So I'll write here, let's suppose the speed of particle at any point A is 3 meter per second, and at point B, let its velocity is 4 meter per second. Let's suppose at point A the particle is moving in north direction, and let's suppose at point B similarly the particle is again moving in north direction. So my dear student, you are seeing here that at point A the velocity is 3 meter per second and its direction is towards north. Similarly at point B the velocity is 4 meter per second and the direction again is north. So what we'll see here, we'll see the speed of particle at A and the speed of particle at B by direction is same. But at point A the magnitude of speed is 3 and at point B the magnitude of speed is 4. So in this situation we know that speed is scalar quantity and speed depends on magnitude, it does not depends on direction. Then we will say, my dear student, that here in this case the magnitude of speed changes, hence we will say the speed is changing. So I'll write here, this is very important point that you have to understand is scalar quantity only changes if magnitude change. I'll write here scalar quantity only changes if magnitude change. Remember this thing, there is no any dependency on direction for scalar quantity. If you wish to change the scalar quantity, then you have to change its magnitude. It does not depends on direction. So this is what scalar quantity is. Now we are talking about vector quantity, which is our chapter. So write down vector quantities. I hope you all know about basic thing of vector quantity. So I'll write here vector quantity. So my dear student, those physical quantity, see, vector is also a physical quantity because whatsoever quantities, if we have to calculate or measure, then it is considered to be physical quantity. So I'll write here those physical quantity which depends on magnitude or and direction, not or, and direction are called vector quantity, So my dear student, about vector we'll say those physical quantity which depends on magnitude and direction are called vector quantity. See, these quantities are changes if magnitude change, if direction change, or if both of the two, that is magnitude as well as direction changes, because vector quantity depends on magnitude as well as direction. So my dear student, there are lots of quantities in physics which is not not enough to give only its magnitude, or not enough to give only its direction for defining. So those physical quantity which is incomplete for giving only direction or only magnitude are considered to be vector quantity. For those quantity you have to mention magnitude as well as direction. Those quantities, or we can say those physical quantities, is said to be vector quantities. For example, I am writing here let's suppose velocity, let's suppose displacement, let's suppose acceleration, let's suppose linear momentum, or we can say momentum, let's suppose torque. These are some examples of vector quantity which depends on magnitude as well as direction. Without giving the information of magnitude and direction, those quantity which is not defined is called vector quantity. And see my dear student, this quantity depends on magnitude and direction both. So if you wish to change the vector quantity, then if only magnitude changes, then also vector quantity change, because vector quantity depends on magnitude. Second thing, if only direction changes, then also vector quantity change. Third thing, if both changes, then also vector quantity changes. Through example, I am discussing on which vector quantity changes. I'll write here factors on which vector quantity changes. Factors on which vector quantity changes. I'll give you three different cases. Let's suppose this is your north direction, south, east and west. Let's suppose a particle is moving with velocity. I am talking about, my dear student, let's suppose acceleration, meter per second square. Meter per second square, my dear student, is unit of acceleration. So I am here making a photo in which a particle is moving from point A with magnitude of acceleration as 4, and let's suppose it reaches at point B and its magnitude of acceleration is, let's suppose, 5 meter per second. So in first case you are seeing at point A the direction of acceleration is north and its magnitude is 4. When the particle reaches at point B, the magnitude of acceleration is 5 but its direction is north. So in this case only magnitude changes. At point A magnitude is 4 and at point B magnitude is 5 but not direction changes. Then also vector quantity change, because vector also depends on magnitude. So I'll write here vector changes as magnitude, only magnitude is changing, only magnitude is changing. Now see my dear student, second case, let's suppose this is your south direction, this is your north, this is east and this is west. Let's suppose a particle is moving with magnitude of acceleration from point A is 4 meter per second square is SI unit of acceleration. Through SI unit, we'll understand what we are talking. So at point A, the direction of acceleration is north and its magnitude is 4. Let's suppose the particle reaches at point B and its magnitude of acceleration again is 4 meter per second square. But now the direction of acceleration is towards east. So my dear student, we know that acceleration is vector quantity. It depends on both magnitude as well as direction. So we'll say at case 2, the velocity of the acceleration of particle at point A is 4 meter per second square towards north, and at point B the magnitude of acceleration is 4, but its direction is changes. Its direction is now towards east. So in this case, my dear student, magnitude remains same but direction changes. Still we'll say vector change. I'll write here vector changes as only direction is changing. Still vector changes because we know that vector quantity depends on magnitude as well as direction. So in first case only magnitude changes but still vector change. In second case only direction changes but vector change. Here magnitude remains same, here direction remains same. Now see third case. Let's suppose this is your south, north, east and west. Let's suppose a particle is moving with velocity, or we can say acceleration, 4 meter per second square, and at point B let's suppose the acceleration is 5 meter per second square. So my dear student, here we are seeing at point A the magnitude of acceleration is 4 and its direction is towards north. Similarly, when the particle reaches at point B, its magnitude is 5 and direction is east. So what we'll conclude here? We'll conclude that the acceleration at A is towards north and magnitude is 4. When this particle reaches at B, the magnitude of acceleration is 5 and it is headed towards east. So in this situation, both magnitude as well as direction changes, then we can say acceleration is vector quantity, hence it is changing. So I'll write here vector changes when vector changes as both magnitude as well as direction changes, So we have three different cases on which the vector quantity change. First, if only magnitude change, then also vector quantity change because vector depends on magnitude. In second case, we will see both only direction changes, still vector quantity change because vector quantity depends on direction. In third case, my dear student, we will see both magnitude as well as direction is changing, hence we will say that vector is change because both magnitude as well as direction changes. So write down the change in vector depends on three factors. The change in vector depends on three factors. Change in vector depends on three factors. Change in vector quantity depends on three factors. I hope you all are understanding. Change in vector quantity depends on three factors. First, if only magnitude changes, then also vector quantity changed. Second is if only direction changes, then also vector quantity change. And third is if both magnitude as well as direction changes, then also vector quantity changes. So remember these 3 points. These 3 points are very important to understand each and every concept of vector, that any vector quantity depends on 3 factors. First is direction, second is magnitude, and third is both magnitude as well as direction. So if only magnitude changes, then also vector quantity change. If only direction changes, then also vector quantity change, and if both changes, then also vector quantity change. So for changing of vector quantity, there are 3 factors on which the change in vector can take place. First, when only magnitude changes, second, when only direction changes, and third, when both magnitude as well as direction changes. Now moving forward, my dear student, I'll take detailed lecture of, lecture series of vector. And remember this thing, if you want to understand physics, each and every concept of physics, then you must crystal cleared with concept of vector. So see, in physics we have 2 different types of motions can take place. First type of motion is, my dear student, linear motion, or we can say straight line motion, or we can say motion in plane. And second type of motion is circular motion. So in physics we'll deal with 2 different types of motion. First is your linear motion and second is your circular motion. Remember, motion in physics takes place in 2 different manners. One is linear motion, or we can say straight line motion, or we can say motion in plane. See, straight line motion we all know. Motion in plane means projectile motion. Motion in 2-dimensional motion is considered to be motion in plane. And second is your circular motion. So my dear student, on the basis of nature of motion, either the motion is straight line or the motion is circular motion, we'll classify vector into 2 parts. On the basis of motion, we'll classify vector in 2 different parts. Write down, on the basis of nature of motion, on the basis of nature of motion, vector is classified in 2 different types. On the basis of nature of motion, vectors is classified into 2 different types. See, if the motion is straight line, then the nature of vector is considered to be, my dear student, polar vector. So I'll write here, first is your polar vector. These vectors are used when the motion is straight line. So I'll write here, these vectors are used when the motion is straight line. Remember this thing, first is your polar vector and second is your axial vector. So on the basis of nature of motion, we'll classify vector into 2 different parts. One is your polar vector. So all the vectors which is used when the particle is in straight line motion. Remember one more time. If the motion is straight line, then all the vectors which we'll use is considered to be polar vector. And my dear student, when the particle is performing circular motion, then the vectors which is used is considered to be in axial vector segment. So I'll write here, these these types of vector are used when the motion of particle is circular. So remember, my dear student, we have, on the basis of nature of motion, vector is classified into two different types. One is your polar vector and second is your axial vector. So polar vector, my dear student, polar vector are used when the motion of particle is in straight line, and axial vector are those vector which is used when the motion of particle is in circle, or we can say when particle is performing circular motion, then we'll use axial vector, and when the particle is performing straight line motion, then all the vectors is there are different types of vectors when the particle is performing straight line motion. There are different types of vector as well when the particle is performing circular motion, but all those different types of vector is considered to be in polar vector, and all those types of vector which is used when the particle is in circular motion is considered to be in axial vector. So I hope you all understand these are basic knowledge related to vector. So remember this thing, if the motion of particle is straight line, then all the vectors which is used is said to be in under polar vector, and if the motion is circular, then all the vector which is used is considered to be in axial vector. Now moving forward, representation of vector. I'll already explain you this thing, that vector is represented by an arrow. It is represented by an arrow. So my dear student, this is the presentation of arrow. So this back side is considered to be tail and front side is considered to be head. And now see, this arrow carry a line whose length is, there is some length of this line. So this length of this arrow represents length of line, represents what, my dear student? It represents magnitude, because we know vector quantity depends, or we can say vector quantity carry two different things. One is magnitude and other is direction. So vector is represented by an arrow in which back side represents tail and front side represents head. Now we know that vector carry two things. One is magnitude and second is direction. So I'll already tell you, this arrow carry line, and the length of this line represents magnitude and head represents direction. So write down the length of line, write down the length of line represents magnitude. The length of line represents magnitude and head represents direction. Head represents direction. So let's suppose I'm talking about any vector quantity. Let's suppose force. So force is a vector quantity. We'll represent force from now as F vector. This arrow is basically vector. Similarly, if I'm talking about acceleration, I know that acceleration is a vector quantity, so I'll write A vector. Similarly, let's suppose R is presentation of displacement, and we know that displacement is a vector quantity, so put an arrow, it's represent displacement is a vector quantity. Similarly, let's suppose I'm talking about torque. Torque is represented by tau. This pronounced as tau. So torque is a vector quantity, we'll write tau vector. So this is basically the presentation of any vector quantity with symbol of an arrow. This arrow carry a line and head. So line represents magnitude and head represents direction. Similarly, my dear student, if you wish to write the magnitude, only magnitude of vector, for only magnitude of vector, we will apply mod on vector. So see my dear student, if force is a vector, in this situation we'll pronounce this as force vector. But if I'll write like this symbol is considered to be mod, and mod means, remember, always positive. So now if mod of f vector, if I'll write mod of f vector, then I'll pronounce it magnitude of force vector. Magnitude of force vector. In this situation, once we'll apply mod on any vector quantity, then we are not talking about direction. We are only talking about the magnitude of vector. Similarly, if we'll write magnitude of acceleration, similarly I'll write magnitude of displacement, similarly I'll write magnitude of torque. So once we'll apply mod, this two parallel lines is said to be mod, and mod means always positive. So once you will apply mod on any vector quantity, then in that case we are only talking about magnitude of vector. In that case we cannot talk about direction. In this situation, if I'll write like this f vector, then we are talking about both magnitude as well as direction. But if I am talking about mod of f vector, then remember my dear student, we are talking about only the magnitude of vector. We now cannot consider the direction of vector, but in this situation we'll consider magnitude as well as direction. So remember this thing, once you'll apply mod on any vector quantity, then there is no need to think about direction. Then we are only dealing with magnitude. We don't deal in that situation about magnitude. So I hope you all understand the presentation of vector quantity. Now we'll discuss different types of vectors. So write down your next topic, that is different types of vectors. Different types of vectors. First is your collinear vector. Second is your parallel vector. Third is your anti-parallel vector. Fourth is your negative of a vector. Fifth is, my dear student, zero vector. Sixth is coplanar vector. Seventh is position vector. And eighth is your unit vector. This unit vector term is very important. So in next lecture, my dear student, we'll discuss all the types of vector. What is collinear vector, what is parallel vector, what is anti-parallel vector, what is negative of a vector, what is zero vector, what is coplanar vector, what is position vector, and what is unit vector. In next class, my dear student, we'll discuss all about this vector. There are more vectors. You will say equal vector is your ninth vector, is equal vector. Equal vector. So in next lecture, my dear student, we all proceed with these types of vector, what actually they are and how they use in studying of physics. So for today it's all. Thank you so much, dear student. Stay safe, stay in your home, take care.